Hello and welcome to the profile series, in which today we're going to move through all the different profiles within your human design chart, because this gives us information around your role here, the archetype that you get to step into in your highest self frequency. Your soul chose to have this flavor, this energy, this contribution to this world. And we're all so different, and it's so important to understand your unique skills, gifts, and service to bring to the world, because from that place, from that abundantly giving and natural place, you will receive all that is for you, and you attract and magnetize all the people, the opportunities, the synchronicities, all the things that we think are random into your life. And it just happens when you are truly yourself, when you are in your full, true, natural expression. We have two sides of our personality. You have your first number of your profile within your human design chart, and then you have your second. Your profile is a combination of two lines, which then makes up your profile. So we have in total 12 profiles that are a combination of the 6 profile lines. So you might be a 5-1, a 1-3, a 2-4, a 6-2. We're going to be moving through all the different profile lines. Each profile has different gifts, different strengths. And when we can harness and we can leverage our natural gifts and abilities, this is where we work smarter, not harder. This is where you start to create what you are here to naturally give to the world, because it shouldn't feel hard. Let's not make life harder than it needs to be. So you will naturally step into your profile when you are living your strategy and authority. So also check out my energy type videos, because that is the most important part of your human design. And once you know that, once you understand how to use your energy, this profile is the archetype in which you can embody. So what I love about archetypes is that we can lean into that. We can fully express ourselves in that. For example, if you think of the queen archetype, of how would she sit? How would she speak? How would she talk? Or the king archetype. And that brings an energy. So think of that when we're moving through the profiles. Okay, for example, the one line, this person is the teacher, is the expert, is the researcher. Okay, then that means I can trust that I have something to share, and I can share it enthusiastically and abundantly and generously and receive from that, because I am here to be a teacher and an expert. Even though I have the imposter syndrome voice of doubt that comes up, I can witness and honor that, but I will still move forward and share my voice, because that's what I'm here for. So look to your human design chart. I will put the link below that you can receive your free chart on my website. My chart system will give you a lot more information than just your regular on the internet. So definitely generate, it's free. And then look to your profile. It's going to be a combination of 2 numbers. So you might be a 5-1, a 3-6, a 2-4, whatever is yours. And just remember that it's going to create a whole nother meaning when you bring the 2 profile lines together. This is where human design gets very nuanced and very deep. So you also have a combination of all the profile lines. That's also what a lot of people don't realize, is that in your chart, you have multiple placements of profile lines. Yes, you have your main one, which is the one that you will say on your chart on the profile side, but you have multiple different types. So if this relates, if this resonates, I'm sure you have it in other aspects of your chart. We're going to move through in this series, your profile. And you want to think about the first number is your conscious awareness. This is how you see yourself. The second number is in your subconscious. It is what other people see in you. And so both parts of you are very present and very important. It's not like one is more important than the other. But where you're consciously aware, you may be more consciously leveraging and living and embodying and activating that. Where you're in your subconscious is what people look to you. If you think about it in a neuroscience perspective, your subconscious is what is creating your actions and is generating your reality. I love to use the example of, for example, if someone says, "Oh, you're so much like your dad, you're so much like your mother." And you think, "No, I'm not. How am I like them? I'm so different to them." But you have the same mannerisms. You talk similarly. You walk similarly. You have these little ways that you do mimic them, because a lot of our subconscious comes from our childhood. And so your subconscious is there and is being felt by the other. So when you can be aware of your subconscious, and again, be in the higher expression, because within the profiles, you're going to have a higher and a lower expression. So we want to be leveraging and stepping into the higher expression, which is your highest, truest self. And this is what's going to create what you desire in the world. You know, your energy matters, and how you move through the world and the energy behind your action dictates what you receive and dictates its outcome. So when you can move in your highest self frequency, you will create and manifest what you desire. Whereas when you're in your lower self, it is just a beautiful awareness when you're in this not self behavior of your profile. So that might be imposter syndrome, that might be dimming your light, that might be hiding yourself, that might be overly perfectionist or people pleasing. We'll go through them all. It's great awareness to stop, pause. What an opportunity to shift this. What an opportunity to see and catch and notice these unconscious thoughts or behaviors that I'm on autopilot right now, but I can consciously choose to come back into my true self energy and then act from that place. Pause, what an opportunity. I have an incredible practice called the power practice that if you want to transform your life and you want to shift timelines, definitely listen to that one. I'll link it below. Just a reminder that it's so important to understand the people around you, what their human design is, what their profiles are, especially if you're working with them and especially if you're in relationship with them, because then we can understand what makes them different so we can work together rather than assume each other are the same and get frustrated when there is difference there. And so when we understand that, it creates more harmony. And it also, if it's in a work situation, it creates so much more productivity and ability to truly get the best of everyone in the space. So for the next week, I am going to be dropping one video for every single profile line. So today we are going to be moving through profile 1, and definitely check out the rest of the videos. So I am a 5-1, so I am a 1 line as well. And we are seen as the teachers, the experts, the investigators. 1 lines love to get to the bottom of whatever they're interested in, whatever comes in their way. Something that I always do, even if I'm watching a movie or a TV show, I want to know everyone about the cast. I want to know about their lives. I want to know about the true story behind it. If something sparks a curiosity, it's for a reason, and you're here to explore it. So for example, for me, human design sparked a massive curiosity within me. I remember listening to human design on a podcast 7-8 years ago. And it was like my whole body was vibrating. It was like there was something here. I want to learn more about everyone else's in my lives human design. And so I went all in. We love to deep dive. We are curious and driven to uncover the truth around whatever we feel called towards. So again, we want to be thinking about your strategy and authority. So we want to be thinking about what your intuition is guiding you towards. So if you are a generator or a manifesting generator, your gut lights up about something and you feel excited to explore it or to discover more, please trust that. Your knowledge is what you're here to give to the world. As I said, you're a teacher and you're designed to be an expert. And so in order to do that, we learn through books, people, courses, wherever you feel called and where you like to receive. If you're a visual learner, if you're an audio learner, like what is your best way of receiving transmission? But we also want to be remembering that with all the knowledge you are receiving, it is so important to digest the knowledge. A lot of 1 lines can become very knowledge chubby, where it's just like, cannot get enough, never satiated. I need more and more knowledge. Integration is so important as a 1 line, because in the integration, you are able to create your own version of the wisdom that you're here to share. So I have truly done that with human design. I have loved ancient wisdoms, the Vedic wisdoms, the Kabbalah, the I Ching, science, quantum physics, the subconscious work, psychology, mindset. I can't get enough of it. Like it's just, and there was years there where I was just learning. And then I got to the point, honestly, years of this, and it was silence, peace, integration. What do I think? How can I merge all of these powerful thoughts and philosophies and sciences together in order to create my way of sharing in the world? And that's why people come to me to learn from human design, because I don't just share human design in the stereotypical way. It's fully embodied and has a deeper foundation and a deeper nuance and intricacy and depth, which a 1 line you bring. So please don't just be a mouthpiece. Don't just regurgitate what you've heard from elsewhere. You have your individual transmission. But what can happen is that there can be a lot of imposter syndrome for the 1 line. 1 lines are very notorious for hiding away, keeping themselves small because they fear that they don't know enough. They fear that they will be asked, God forbid, one question they don't know, or God forbid, they'll have to say, I'll get back to you. So what a one line needs to remember is that this idea that you know everything, this idea that you have to know everything is an illusion. It's impossible to know everything. We are constantly students of life, and you are always gaining, always receiving more. I also invite you to look, this is more advanced within human design, but look if you have an active mind or a passive mind. For me, I have a passive mind, so it means I am just constantly absorbing, and only if the right person or the right opportunity or the right question, when that comes, it draws the information out of me, and especially as a projector. So it's just understanding how you work. This is why human design is so important. We need to understand how our unique transmission, our unique way of giving and learning. And so we do need to prioritize creating a solid, firm foundation for our knowledge, for our wisdom. Because as I said, that's what you're here for. Your soul chose to be wise, chose to be a teacher, chose to be an expert. So never shy away from learning, developing, absorbing, sharing. You're here to share. It's not just meant to be kept for you. If you fear being seen, if you fear not knowing enough, it's giving love to that part of ourselves. It is scary, but just know that your wisdom is needed in the world. And so every time that you have this thought of imposter syndrome, now this is the lower self, the not self expression of the one line, is always doubting, always very skeptical, always feeling like the penny will drop, not feeling safe to share. And so safety is something that we need to create for ourselves. Safety is not something that the external needs to give to us, because if you're waiting for the external to give you safety, it will always be transient. It will always be flimsy. Safety is an internal creation, and that is done through your nervous system support and your belief in self, your trust in self, and also the permission to say, I'll get back to you, or let me do some more research on that, or I've never thought about that. Let that sit with me for a little bit. No one is going to think that you're silly or you're not qualified or that you don't know enough. That's being human. And so we're always 10% ahead of the people we're serving. So this is really powerful. For example, if you're sharing human design, you're 10% ahead of the people that are brand new, never heard of human design. And you have to trust that the universe will recalibrate that. The universe will never send you someone or an opportunity that you're not ready for. Listen to me. I'm going to like really hone the camera here. You will never receive an opportunity if you are not ready for it. It's impossible. You won't get an opportunity if you're not ready for it. So if it feels stretchy, if you feel like, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I'm ready for this, you are. You wouldn't receive it if you weren't. And through stepping through the fear, you will expand your vessel, you will reach a higher expansion for yourself. And this is where you evolve into a higher timeline. And so trust me when I say you are ready, you have enough knowledge. Right now is just for you to practice what you preach and to share and to let it be scary. Like excitement and nervousness is the same feeling in the body. It's just that we give different reasons and we give different stories or meaning around it. So when you see like, I'm excited, this feels stretchy, this feels scary, amazing. You're stepping into your higher timeline. Let the fear be there, but you continue to move forward. Breathe. Remind yourself that you wouldn't receive this opportunity if you weren't. And I love to picture myself after maybe this speaking event, or I've shared this thing, or I've done this session, whatever the thing that you have been nervous for. I envision myself afterwards, how good I will feel after doing it. And your subconscious doesn't know reality from imagination. So in that moment, you're imagining, you're feeling it, you're feeling so grateful, you're feeling so proud of yourself. Let that be your reality and just watch that manifest. So reminder that the more you know, the less you fear. So it's about creating a happy medium. You want to be, knowledgeable enough and have done your research, have found your facts. I really do recommend one lines to study, to explore, and we love it. So like, why wouldn't we? And don't be down on yourself if you're always doing courses, you're always learning the new things. That's what I love to invest my money in. At the same time, I always trust when it's coming from pure curiosity and love and expansion. If I am doing something because I'm like, oh, I need this qualification so I have that piece of paper to confirm that I'm certified, or I should know this thing, or I won't be enough if I don't do this thing. If you are feeling like that is not coming from your true self, that's coming from fear, that's coming from your not self, and I would say that is not the right decision for you. It's about trusting where you feel that opening, that expansion, that curiosity, and that's what you're here to move towards, and that's what you're designed to be an expert in. And you have to trust that everything will be added. For example, my main vocation is human design. And, at one point I studied and became a lawyer, and that has served me. And that definitely serves me in my business right now. Not like I'm in cases or anything, or like I've had to go down the law route, but that has served me. The knowledge and the way that it trained me has served me so much in business. But at the same time, as I've moved forward, I've studied yin yoga, I've studied Vedic, I've become a rishi, I've become a breathwork practitioner, I've studied sound healing, I've studied authentic relating, I've studied IFS Park's work, I have studied the Kabbalah, I have studied the I Ching. I'm just about to go to Nepal and study Buddhism. And so I'm always following and trusting where I feel called, because it all adds to my teachings. It all adds to my spaces. If you're in my human design certification, I bring all these modalities in. I've also studied around the female cycles and quantum physics and subconscious work. So all of it has benefited my own journey, but then I bring this all into my work and people feel the depth and the richness of it. And I don't do it because of that. I do it because I genuinely love it and I want to know more. So one line's surface level will never be enough. I feel like you want to learn from one lines. You want to study with one lines because they go deep. There's nothing they haven't asked that question for. Like one lines love to ask lots of questions. Sorry, my partner. I'm sorry for other people around me and your kids. One lines, we love questions. We're curious. We want to know where you're from, how you met, where you went to school, what your plans are, what you're envisioning, what your family background is. We love questions because we're curious. And so, as I said, people love that in you. So it's never judge yourself for that. So with this unquenchable sense of knowledge, I just want to remind you that in your highest expression, yes, you learn, you receive, you integrate, you create space. Please create space and let the knowledge digest. It needs to be digested. It needs to be embodied. Are you just learning and not embodying? Because then there's no point. It's about embodying and let it create positive change in your life. And then from there, sharing it in the spaces and the places so you can receive from your knowledge. You've done all this work. You've invested a lot of money in your study. Now you get to receive. Now you can receive recognition. Now you can receive work. Now you can receive wealth. You can receive other energies of information and love. So make sure you are not only giving, but you are also receiving. Your knowledge is your gift to the world. Don't hide it. Don't be insecure about it. And also no ego about it. The thing about a one line, it is important that it's not going to be for everyone, and not everyone has to live like you, and not everyone needs to know what you know. So when people are ready to listen, they'll be there. And for myself, I have an undefined throat, and I always find that the way that I can share and what is ready to be heard will be very dependent on those that are listening. It'll be very dependent on the ears that are open for it. And so if you struggle to sometimes be able to communicate what you do know, oftentimes it can be because that person isn't ready or their vessel isn't wanting to receive it. And that's okay. It's not a reflection of you. I always think focus on your zone of genius, what you love, what your strategy and authority, what your intuition is calling you towards, because then you can talk about it, share about it, dive deeper into it all day long. You need to enjoy the thing that you're practicing and what you're giving. So please notice when you are in the lower expression of analysis paralysis, nothing is ever enough, always feeling insecure that you don't know enough, always feeling like you have to corroborate and back yourself up, and always feeling, just that heaviness that can happen when you're constantly doubting yourself. And so we witness ourselves, we witness that voice, we witness that insecurity, that darkness, and then we come back into your true self-expression. And know that you are just here to give and share. You've got nothing to prove. You've got nothing to make proud. You've got nothing to prove to other people. And when you are just like divine intelligence moving through you, that's when you're at your most powerful. So don't avoid attention just because you feel like you're not qualified. Don't, being so skeptical of what's possible for you or what your dreams are. We need you. You see the change that's happening in our world. And we need our profile ones to come with their truth and their wisdom, because so many people are on autopilot, not realizing, in their stories, in their illusions, in their doubts, in their fears. And the one line can break through. The one line can come in a very logical way, but a very expansive, empowered way. So you have a gift one line, trust it and move forward. And for those that are in relationship with one line, yeah, use them as a resource and implore and empower them in their curiosity, in their desire to explore the world within their own mind or another's mind. I always say as well, a one line can never be lied to. You can't lie to a one line. So if you're in a relationship with a one line, the best way to support them is to ask them questions, is to ask them what they think, is to encourage them to continue to dive deeper, go deep with them. Like a one line wants to go deep. So go deep with the one line. Help them feel really seen for what they know. Encourage them to move forward, to share in that way. And also don't lie to them. They're going to be able to tell. There can be this fear that the rug will be pulled up underneath you and what you thought was secure and safe is no longer. And so what can happen is that we then cling to what we know. And what you need to remember is that your anchor is yourself, is your heart, is your soul connection to what is possible. Like you are your anchor. Your anchor needs to be your sense of self. Like your heart is always the one that I come back to. Because if things are all changing around you, that can feel very destabilizing for a one line. So come back to your truth, your knowing, and the next available step. A lot of the time, one lines can feel like they have to plan everything out and they have to be so sure and they have to just know. That is a not self of always feeling like I have to be certain, I have to know, I have to, have all my I's dotted and T's crossed and everything has to be certain. True certainty is your sense of self, is your trust in your capabilities, trust in your ability to move through trials and tribulations, and you can trust yourself. It's not about creating safety in the external, it's creating safety in the internal, that if anything happens, you've got your back. So just a reminder, one line, you are the teacher, the expert. You are such a curious soul who is here to share your wisdom, your knowledge, your thoughts, your takes, create space and time for all that you are learning to land and integrate and embody within you. Practice what you are learning. What do you see work? How can you bring together all the different ways and wisdoms in which you have learned and then share from that place? And remember, you're a divine channel. It's always going to be best when you are present, when you are connected to self, and whatever comes out is exactly what is meant to be said. I love to say, at the end of a recording or a conversation or a session or a teaching or a lesson, whatever was meant to be said was said. And if it wasn't said, it wasn't meant to be said. Full acceptance, full knowing that you are a transmission for divine intelligence and wisdom. And yeah, we get to do our research and we get to learn because that's what we love. We're very curious and we love to explore the world and all that is possible here. So watch if you don't let yourself do that, because that's what the one line is here for, and then share their wisdom for the rest of us. So that's a one line. Embody, step into this archetype of the teacher and expert in whatever you're interested in. That is not random. Whatever you're interested in, whatever you enjoy to learn about, whatever you enjoy to talk about, the thing that you can't stop talking about with all your friends and family. Mine was always human design until I was like, well, let's make it my job. I love the saying of don't love your work, work your love, because then you can never stop. It's just an endless overflow in the topics that you love. I love being a one line. So if it's human design, it's not by accident, it's not random. So thank you so much for listening, One Lines. If you would like to dive deeper, I will put a link below to our certification. This is where we explore the true depths of human design. You'll feel very satiated one line. We dive so deep into all of the profiles, all aspects of the chart. It's the most comprehensive training on the market. Join us. I'll put the link below. If you want to explore more, check out my other videos and also listen on to your other video with your other profile line and enjoy. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for the rest of this week. We're going to be dropping the rest of the profile lines. Bye for now. Have a beautiful day.